If they don't end up with like 9 wins, it's a massive disappointment. Their schedule's so easy, and they are playing real crap. With quarterbacks, you're like, wait, who? Who are the quarterbacks? Like New Orleans? Who the hell's their quarterback? They're probably the worst quarterback room in the league.
It's depending how you look at it, the easiest schedule in the league, which we know never holds. But as you're sitting here today, and one way to look at it is Vegas projected over-unders. According to those totals, it's the second easiest schedule in the league.
Okay.
The look-ahead lines, you're favored in 11 of your 17 games.
No kidding? I didn't know that.
After going 4-13.
You're favored in 11 games. Last year, you were favored in none.
Right.
So if you go do that, if it goes according to Hoyle, it goes according to what's expected. It's an 11-win season. Okay, so I don't think, and their over-under on DraftKings is 8.5. So I don't think that's unreasonable. And it's not, I think people get confused when you say, yeah, they should win 9-10 games. It's like you're commenting on the Patriots. I'm not. I'm commenting on the schedule.
Right, same.
And I'm also commenting on the coaching should be better. Drake May should be for God's sakes, people, if Vrabel's the coach you think he is, May is the quarterback you think he is, they keep drafting at the top of the draft, and they spent a bunch of money, and they have the second easiest schedule in the league, anything less than 9 wins is a complete fail. So put it all together. I do think people are misstating, though, the first month. Before you get to the Bills in week 5, you're at the Bills Sunday Night Football week 5, okay? Like, that's all set up for them in the first month. I don't think so. I see only one automatic win in there, and that's the Panthers in week 4. I think Raiders week 1, toss-up. I think at Dolphins week 2 is a tough draw. That's the only bit of bad luck you got in that schedule. You play at Miami post-November, post-Thanksgiving, you got a shot. Miami in September, even when Brady was here.
Oh, that's
a nightmare.
That was a tough pull. So that was a bad break to get the Dolphins that early down there. So that, I think, they're fighting an uphill battle there.
3 straight road games is strange.
That is
Okay,
unusual. I noticed that too.
Okay, but hold on. That's post.
Yeah, right.
So I'm talking about the first 4 weeks. Let me just give you the first 4 weeks. Home Steelers. I'm sorry. I think Aaron Rodgers is an a-hole and a pill and is cashed. And if it's even Mason Rudolph, he sucks. You can lose that game. Who are you? I mean,
who are they?
Who are they? Right. You're 2 teams that are who are they? The Steelers are a playoff team last year. They're a winning team every year. I would not chalk that up as win. You go 2 Jamokes gave it a win, right?
They're winning that game. Steelers.
So I think the Raiders, Steelers,
I would just like it to be on the record that the second Jamoke is scripted.
And then
so I'm following Murray's lead.
And then home Panthers. Here's what I'm here to tell you. That first month has got to be 2-2. So I'll give you the loss at the Dolphins.
I'm with you in that the Raiders is kind of a coin flip. I don't think that's a gimme.
Geno Smith came in here last year and beat you.
Yep, shredded you, in fact.
Who's a better coach, Pete Carroll or Mike Vrabel?
It's close.
I mean,
Pete's won a Super Bowl.
I'd like to think it's Mike Vrabel, but Pete's won a hell of a lot more than Mike Vrabel ever has. And Pete Carroll's beaten you plenty. He's also lost to you plenty, but he's beaten you. So, no, Raiders, week 1, toss-up. Now, I know the Pats are 3-point favorites in that one, 3.5.
I'll tell you, though, 2-2 is sort of what I felt in the first month of the year.
That first month, though, has got to be 2-2. Split Raiders, Steelers at the least. I'll give you the loss at Miami. You got to beat the Panthers. So I just think, and look at it another way. Between home games, Raiders, Steelers, Panthers, you got to go 2 out of 3 there. Have to. And because you're losing week 5 at Buffalo. But if you want to have a season, I think if they're anything less than 2-2 in that first month, it's trouble. And it's like, what, you guys F this up again? Seriously, that's what if they're 1-3 after a month, I'm going to look at this and say, you guys F this thing up again. You at least got to be 500 coming out of that first month.
That 8.5 for an over/under also. That's a significant number. What were they last year? Were they like 6.5 or something like that? It might have been even lower.
That sounds right.
It might have been even lower than that. But 8.5 is basically telling you they're a 500 team. It should be right around 8 or 9 wins, and that is like I think that's encouraging, and it probably is a lot based on the schedule. I wouldn't doubt that. But they should also be a more professional operation. Last year was a clown show.
Of course.
The last 2 years have been clown shows.
And now look, if Gerard Mayo got off to a good start, and they did, week one, should have won week two, and then downhill from there. But they got a pop out of the new coaching staff, even with the bad coaching staff. So have that pop and beat the Raiders or beat the Steelers, take care of the Panthers, be at no worse than 2-2 in that first month, and there you go. And do that. Anything less, I think we're going to be looking at, say they F this thing up again, is how I would say. Well, anyway, that's the first half of the schedule.
I mean, look, so I write the goofy script for this, and just going by gut and looking at this, considering these teams, this isn't so much about the Patriots. They'll be better coached. They'll be better. And Drake May, we hope, is good. This is about who they're playing in some of the spots. I realistically can't see any less than 10 wins. I really can't. They should have at least 10 wins.
Okay, so all of a sudden, let me just see. You had the Thursday night game at the Jets as a win, right?
I did.
So you have them sweeping the Jets.
I do.
You have them winning in Buffalo.
No, that's Buffalo here.
Buffalo here. Sorry, that's right.
Yeah, I think they split with Buffalo.
You have them beating Buffalo, period.
Yeah. Even with Suck coaching these last few years, Bill at the end, and even with Mayo, they've been competitive with Buffalo in some of these games.
They're going to go 0-2 against Buffalo.
You have them. Okay, so that 3-game road trip that you were talking about, at Buffalo, at New Orleans, at Tennessee, you have them winning 2 of the 3.
Correct. They're going to beat Tennessee because they're trash, and Vrabel's going to want revenge, kid. And Cleveland? How are they going to lose to Cleveland?
Cleveland blows.
You have them beating Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
Atlanta has to come here in whatever that is, November?
Sweeping the Jets.
Yep.
Beating Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
Beating Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, not all those things are going to happen.
They might not, but they might. We're not talking about some of the iron.
There's some good analysis right there.
Well, we're not talking about some of the iron in the league.
No, you're not, but you're expecting all of those things?
Oh, so look, I'm dumping this on Murray. I'll say I don't think they're winning 12, but I'll tell you this.
You have them winning every questionable game.
I think they could win 10, though.
Every toss-up game.
I think it would be a push. I mean, it would require a push.
Because I've decided
to do it, but they could win 10 games.
With this goofball bit and looking at the schedule and trying to be positive going into this season and hoping they win more than 4 games, I'm siding with the people and thinking that Drake May's legit. That's all.
You are?
Yeah.
He's being nice.
So that's the way you feel, or you're just doing the bit?
And looking at the schedule and assuming that Drake May is legit, assuming that he is, who's to say? They should get
there we go
10, 11 wins.
They should go 3-0 against New York. They play the Giants too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They should win all 3 New York games.
They should?
Yeah. They're better than that team.
Okay.
Both of them, I mean.
They are?
The Jets suck, Mike. The Jets have Justin Fields as their quarterback. If Vrabel can't hold them under 15 points, that's pathetic because that team blows. That offense blows.
Last time I saw Justin Fields here, he shredded you.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was
3
like
years
3
ago?
years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, different coach. No.
That was peak Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi
Mac
nonsense.
Jones wasn't playing defense that night.
Well, that's Fat Belichick being out to lunch.
Fat Belichick.
Yeah.
Do you think they're better than the Jets?
The roster? I don't know. I bet the rosters are pretty even.
I think they're better than the Jets. And then when I say better than the Jets, the rosters might be close. They should have an edge in coaching. They certainly have an edge at quarterback.
They should definitely have an edge in coaching. They should definitely have an edge at quarterback, which you would say, yep, it feels like half the battle, but a lot of times it turns out it's not. But to the point of, all I'm saying is sweep. Now, I think you and the Jets are in the same bucket. You should be ahead of them, but sweep?
So you think Drake May's Justin Fields then?
I don't. I think that to automatically start assuming you're going to sweep teams in the division, sweep anybody, they're not there yet. You're in a stage where you split with Miami, you split with New York. That's doing your job. In the last couple of years, you've gotten swept by these teams. Didn't you get swept by New York last year?
I don't remember.
That sounds right.
I believe you might have. I can't remember. But you're 4-13. So
No, they beat the Jets last year 25-22.
you're getting swept by teams the last couple of years. So now you'd go from being swept by these teams to splitting with them. And that's where you start. So I can't remember exactly who you got swept by, but
They got swept by Miami last year. I do remember that.
so you don't turn that around and say, I just think you're expecting a little too much in your analysis there.
I might be. But again, that's a trash-ass schedule, and assuming that Drake May is what people think he is around here, they should have double-digit wins. Every year, you know this, we all know this, every year there's a team that nobody saw coming that takes a big leap. Last year it was Washington, and the real quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Maybe this year, Drake May decides, I know how to play the position too. And easier schedule, better coach. Now they're the double-digit win team that nobody saw coming.
I will say it is a crap-ass schedule. Make no mistake. And this is old school sort of, bad team, easy schedule. It not like it used to be even worse. There used to be more games that hinged on your record. Now I think there's only like 2 that really change. Well, maybe there's a little bit more, but the whole schedule, you used to get even a bigger break, but you still get some. And now you're seeing it. If you get good, you can't expect it. I was looking at the Commanders. So the Commanders have this big bounce back year last year. This year, they get hosed.
Oh yeah, their schedule's like Bone City.
They're just their road schedule. They're at Green Bay. They're at Kansas City. They are obviously at the Cowboys, at the Eagles.
At Detroit, I think.
They're at Minnesota. They are home Detroit.
Oh.
But they are at the Chargers. They've got a killer schedule.
And some of these games are in like stupid Spain and stuff like that. It's stupid.
Oh, that's rough.
So this, I
the
think
NFC North was good last year.
I think everyone expects, and I think they play the. You said the NFC North.
Yeah, because if they get the Vikings and the Packers, then I presume they get the Bears and the Lions.
They're playing the NFC North, so they've got the Packers, they've got the Bears. They're at Green Bay, at Minnesota. They're at Kansas City, which I mentioned to you.
And you know what? The Bears are going to be better. I'm sorry, they are. They got what's his name is the coach.
You know that? Do you know that? The guy that was the OC in
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. I'm going to say Brian Johnson.
Yeah, but the quarterback doesn't even want to play there.
I know.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, that is a problem. But they have invested in the offensive line and the weapons.
All I'm saying is it's set up for you. You've got a real coach. You've had another year of drafting up high. You've spent some money. The league has handed you a crap-ass schedule from the old school. Don't suck. That's all. There's no excuse for them to suck this year.
I don't think they're going to suck. I really don't. I think you're good. I think the structure of the program means a lot, and I think that they're going to have that.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.